So this is the drill press area, which is kind of a mess. And what I want to do is clean this up, get a little deck in here so that you have a place to put things you're working on, and then have some shelving in here for all the accessories and drill bit sets and all of that. Then I also want to make a like a canopy that comes out over here, like I did at the lathe, so that you can put lights in it and maybe it'll have some storage on top. First I'll start on the canopy edges. These are just some old leftover pine boards. I didn't draw up any real plans for this project, just enough to get some dimensions. It's just 5 pieces of wood. Here I'm trying to cut around the knots and get the best pieces for the parts that I need. Here I'm just planing and truing them up. And getting a good edge. Now I can cut them to width. Here I'm cutting the panel that will make up the top surface of the canopy. Then I can cut the notches in the back edge of the canopy for where it fits into the posts in the wall. The canopy rails are going to have a large chamfer at the top and the bottom edges all the way around. So that's what I'm doing here. For some reason I couldn't get that featherboard to stay put. Kept moving around. So that knot was loose and it kind of fell out. So we'll come back to that later, you'll see. Here I'm setting up to cut the rabbet in the rails that the plywood top will fit into. Yep, that looks good. So the camera went off when I was putting the sides on, so sorry. I don't have that pictures of that, but here I'm putting the front on. Here I'm taping that angled piece of wood back on the chamfer so that I'll have something to clamp to. Then I can cut some slots for biscuits at the corners. This helps kind of keep everything aligned and hold it together while it's getting clamped up and gluing. Then the glue. And lots of clamps. When that's dry, I can take them off. Here I'm fixing that place where the knot came out. Since it came out before I cut that rabbet, I need to make it just a little bit thinner. Then I can set the fence for the amount that I need to cut off. Hey, look at that, it fits. And a bit of glue to hold it in place. Or maybe a lot. And some tape to hold it on while it dries. Yep, I think that'll work. Then I can install the cleat on the back edge of the canopy. This is the part that will hold it to the wall. The piece had a bit of a bow in it, so I had to kind of work it with clamps as I went along to straighten it out. Well, I guess it's more than 5 pieces. Turns out it was 7. So here I'm making the braces that'll go on each side to hold it up. The spray adhesive on the paper works pretty well to hold it on the wood while you're milling it out. Then I can cut out the parts. And then do a bit of sanding. And more sanding. Then I can route a slight chamfer on the edges. Okay, time to put this thing up. So what I'm going to do is clamp some temporary boards on the sides to kind of act as legs, just to hold it up while I attach it to the wall. And here it goes. And one on the front just to make sure it doesn't fall forward. Now that I've got it attached at the back, I can take the side legs off. Here I'm installing the side brace, so it helped to have an additional kind of leg in there to make sure it was level while I'm putting that in. You know, good help is hard to find, so sometimes you just have to help yourself. I'll be putting in the lights in the next video, so stay tuned for that. Then I can remove the last temporary leg and the clamp. In the next video, we'll be working on the little workbench, so stay tuned.